Welcome to another episode of the Finding Serenity in the Midst of Chaos podcast. Today, we are talking about confidence. Specifically, if you're asking yourself, how do I feel? What do I need to do to feel more confident in myself? This is the episode for you. So stay tuned. Hi, Ian.
Hello, July.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, all good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
marvelous.
confidence.
Confidence, yes. It's an elusive subject that everyone
Hmm.
wants to have, but not many do. Or it's an interesting subject. Some people who are outwardly confident or
Hmm.
appear confident actually
Yeah.
lack a lot of inner confidence, but we can
Hmm.
come back to that in a second. But yeah.
That's very interesting. I just, again, an example. So, a colleague of mine, when I worked in industry, just said to
Mm,
me, I was working with him, and he just said, you might think that I'm a really confident person and whatever, doing what I do. I said, yeah, absolutely, yeah. He said, but I'm not. I
oh.
don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable doing these things. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's. I just mention it. There's nothing
Mm.
else to say about it really. But yes, that's
What's
just
made him
straight
say
away.
that all of a sudden, do you think?
I think just because, maybe I said something. Oh, it's great working with you. The way you lead things, the way you do things, and it's
Mm.
just said, well, you might think I'm really confident, but actually, I'm not. I'm not. That's not how I feel inside. And but I
Mm.
just kind of do it anyway.
Okay, that's interesting. That's a
Yeah,
very interesting angle, and there's a couple of angles we can go into. And let's start with that.
great.
Now that you gave that example,
Okay.
yeah, yes, and I said elusive, isn't it? People think that confidence is something on a pedestal, something that big and whatever, and that they can never reach, or something to be reached in a way, or it's something that doesn't belong to them and other people have that I can't
Yeah.
have, and so forth.
Mm.
But I think we may have spoken about this in many episodes ago. I can't remember exactly but what the number is right now, but it's confidence. My coach always says comes from competence.
Yes. Yes. Makes sense. I
It's
think
one
I can
element
understand.
of confidence, isn't it? It's
Mm.
when you first learn to drive. How do you
Yeah.
feel? Not very confident
Mm.
because
Mm.
you're not very competent at doing what you're doing.
Yes.
You drive, you stole the car a few times, and you just jotted the
Mm.
car a few times,
Mm.
and that comes from your lack of knowledge, your lack of understanding of what you're doing, and lack of practice. And that's one
Yes.
part of confidence. So in one element, confidence in what you're doing
Hmm.
comes from having the enough amount of competence in what you're
Yes.
doing. So when I first started building my website or doing my videos or whatever, I wasn't very confident in doing that. But like you say, you still go ahead and do it anyway
Mm.
because you don't feel confident because you're worried about what other people will say, how will they judge you, how will what, so on and so forth. But like we said many times, other people don't really care about you. They care about themselves. They care about
Mm.
what you're doing for them.
Mm.
And at that point in time, they're not really thinking about you as such. Um, and even if they are judging you, which they will, uh, it is to do with what's in their head and not in your head. So
Mm.
the confidence, if fear is getting in the way of you doing something that you want to do in this world and you don't feel like you're confident enough, understand that that comes from competence and just having enough practice of doing the same thing.
Mm.
Like after 3 years after you pass your driving test, you no longer confidence doesn't even come to your head, you
That's
know,
right. Yeah.
and
It's
people
all
with
about
that.
just getting where you want to go, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's just a means
exactly.
to an end. You don't even think about it or worry what's going to happen on the journey.
Yeah, yeah,
If a situation develops on the journey, I'll deal with it. But you're not
yeah,
actually even thinking about that when you start
yeah.
off. Yeah, so that's it. It's
I think they call that unconscious competence. You do it
okay.
automatically and you don't
Yes,
even have
yes,
to think about it anymore.
sure.
But
Yeah.
then, but there's the other side of confidence. It's like having the confidence to go up to the girl that you want to go out with and just go ask her out, for example, or
Yes.
having the confidence to go to your boss to say, well, you know what, I want to take a day off, or I want to go to my child's school play, or even speak up in some meetings, as you said many times
Oh,
before.
yes, yes, yes.
And people feel that sometimes that this is going to come at some point, and some or other people are confident and they are not.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't, some people might look like they're naturally confident, but that's something that they build as a habit to become,
Mm,
to look or to feel confident. You're
mm,
never going to be confident in everything that you do at the first time.
mm,
And the competence element comes, but
mm.
also you got to push yourself a little bit. We talked about
Yes.
pushing ourselves out of comfort zone
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
by little. You've got to decide that you've got to be confident
Mm,
in something, isn't it?
mm.
And that's a big decision. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. I think with me, with the presenting, once I started to enjoy it,
Hmm.
and do it in my way and not try to be somebody else or just, to actually just be more natural. I think
Yeah.
as well, if you can just do things naturally and be yourself, then
Hmm.
that comes, there's a point where you start to enjoy it
Yeah.
rather than dread it.
Yeah. And it's exactly, I'm going to pick up on what you just said. Try and be somebody else. And
Mm-hmm.
why you're never going to be somebody else, but we become under the illusion that if we pretend to be somebody else, if we fake it till we make it, and all of this sort of stuff,
Yeah.
motivational stuff, then
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
going to one day feel confident in what we do. Well, no, because trying to be somebody else, trying to pretend someone that you're not, is only
Mm,
going to take its toll on you and
mm.
gonna make you more frustrated and make you feel like you are, pretentiousness, this performance, if you like, you're
Yeah.
always performing to be
Mm,
someone else, is
mm,
going to be tiring. So coming back to, so what do I do to become more confident in myself, or to feel more confident in myself, is the question we ask in the beginning, and people are wondering. So what do you do? Well, first of all, understand, make a decision that you are going to be confident from now on.
mm.
Confidence is a decision, it's something
That's
internal,
yeah.
it doesn't come from outside.
That's interesting. Make a decision as though I've got
Mm.
some choice about this.
Yes, you do have a choice. We always
Yeah.
have a choice, right? And
Yes, that's right.
you can
Exactly.
you can decide to be confident from this moment onward. And if people's like, how do I do that? Well, how do you stop a car? You hit the brake, you stop the car. If a child is running in front of you, you don't sit there and think, how do I stop this car? You just
Mm,
press the brake and that's it. It's stopped. In as blunt as it sounds, it is as simple as that. It may
mm,
not be easy,
mm-hmm,
and there's a big distinction, but until you actually take that action to decide and take that action, it is always going to be difficult in your head,
mm,
because staying in your head, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But when you decide and when you actually take some action towards it, little by little, the more action you take, the more clarity you get, from the actions that you take, the the more confident you will become, because you will become more competent at being confident, if
well,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
it does. Yeah, some good stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you make a decision, first of all, one of the reasons why we don't be so confident, we don't feel so confident in ourselves, is because we compare ourselves to other people. Oh, look at her,
Mm,
she's done that, I can't do that, or whatever. All of these kind of comparisons. Oh, she has
mm,
all the experience that I don't have. Stop looking at what you don't have.
mm-hmm,
Stop focusing on the lack, but focus on why you matter in this world.
mm,
What can you bring to this world? What is
mm,
it that you bring that no one else can? When you focus your attention on the things that you already can do and other people can't, all of a sudden that inner confidence will grow
mm,
already, right?
mm.
So start with that. And the second thing is that one of the reasons why we don't feel confident also is that we just scatter our attention to lots of different things that
Okay.
we feel that we need to, but we don't actually need to. And also, we try and please people because we don't feel confident enough. We don't feel like we are enough. And we are trying to show our enoughness to other people
Mm,
by
mm-hmm.
constantly pleasing them.
Yeah.
And that then ends up you comparing yourself to others, and it's not going to help you with your confidence. So instead, have a focus, a purpose for yourself. purpose
Sure.
of, if you're having to go to a 9 to 5 job every day, fine. But my why, my purpose is to gain enough skills that maybe one day I can break out and do something else for myself, or just provide for my family, or surround myself with intelligent, high caliber people. Whatever the purpose is at that point in time is going to drive you from within to do your best
Hmm.
based on the best skills that you do have. And when
Here it
you,
comes then.
yeah,
Be the best you that you can be, because
yeah,
everybody else is taken.
taken, right? And exactly, then when you focus on that, you don't need to not be confident anymore, because nobody else can be you, and therefore there should be no comparison, and there should be no reason for you to not be confident in being yourself, because you've been yourself all your life, right? Or,
That's right.
well, having said that, you probably have been living your life, living
Yes,
up to other people's expectation, but
that's right.
now it's time to be yourself.
It's time for a change. It's time to say stop the car. Right,
Mm,
now we're going in this direction.
yeah,
Now I'm going to be the best me I can be, not
yeah.
anybody else. And it's time to start living that new energy.
Yeah, and self-love is something that we've spoken about. We give, give,
Yep.
give, 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 give.
Mm,
We Earlier I was listening to a podcast of one of my coaches, and she was saying that we see this love that we give to other as a pie. We give a slice to this person, that person, that person, but we never even consider to take a piece ourselves. But
mm,
when you do that, you're operating from lack, not from real love. Love means there's more than enough for
mm.
everybody. And
Uh-huh.
she made it resemblance to a chocolate fountain. A chocolate fountain will never stop, it continues to give and flow, and there is more than enough for everybody. And if
Hmm.
you don't give yourself the love, nobody else is going to benefit from the love you're giving out, because one day you run out. And what is
Mm,
that to do with confidence? But if you're depleted of your energy, your
mm.
life force energy,
Yeah.
confidence doesn't even come into it anymore. So start with feeding yourself the love and the care that you need
Yeah.
first. Because if you're looking for it outside, one day other people will run out of it, and so will you. So, and you're having to rely on other people to give it to you, then you're already doomed, I'm afraid.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good picture.
yeah.
It's warning to us, really, isn't it? These things just help us, give us a reason for wanting to get on the right track and do the best that we can do.
Yeah, and we talked about this many times, as again, drawing some boundaries, having
Hmm.
that self-love, having the clear focus, having the self-love, and drawing some clear boundaries with
Mm.
people,
Yeah.
with us, with being assertive. You know what? I'm not going to do this today because whatever,
Mm.
and setting the expectations of other people, teaching people how to treat you will
Mm.
give you the confidence with them, because when you're going to see the results of that very quickly,
Mm.
you're not going to be depleted anymore. And when you're not depleted, you're a lot more likely and a lot easier to be
Mm.
yourself, isn't it?
Mm.
And be
Yes.
confident in what you're doing,
Mm.
because that gives you the space and time to be more competent in what you're doing, if that makes sense. They're kind of all interlinked.
That's right. It is, and you know, it's that fear. I haven't got time. There isn't time. But the more I think about that in life, there is always time for things.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, fair enough. If you're there in the office from 9 till 5, yeah, you can't go and watch a tennis match in the afternoon or whatever. That's fair enough, unless you have a day off, of course. But that's the sort of thing. But there is time for yourself, isn't there, to
Yeah.
build this competence and the
Hmm.
confidence and all the things we talked about today. But it does require some effort. It's just not going to fall into place, is it? It does require a little bit of something from us.
Well, it does. It requires that personal responsibility to,
Mm,
take the decision and do what is necessary to gain that confidence. First is a decision that in itself will elevate you to a whole new level first. Then gaining more competence in what you do will help you get there. You know, if I said, oh, I'm not confident enough to get on a video, and I wasn't,
Mm,
but then
mm,
I went and did it anyway. And I was, if I still, if I was still sitting there wondering, oh, will I be, will I not, and how will it be, whatever, I still wouldn't have done anything, and
mm.
I wouldn't have been as more competent as I am now, because you know, you just thinking about it, stewing on it is not going to gain you any more confidence. But practicing it, well, like when you're one or whatever, you start the first walk, you're wobbly, you're having to balance as if you're on a tightrope, whatever,
Yeah.
and then a couple of months down the line, you're running like no one
Mm,
can catch you.
mm.
And that's again comes with practice. And the 1 year old doesn't think, oh, I'm not confident enough, I can never do this. It just
That's
gets on
right.
and does it. Although the
That's
parents
right.
probably think, and the grandparents, oh, she's not confident yet. It's like, don't even bring that to the poor child's mind, you know.
No, that's right.
It
It doesn't
doesn't even
matter at that
know. It's
stage.
just it just
Mm.
goes and does it.
It's just
So
doing. That's right.
exactly. And then finally, just surround yourself with people who are going to support you
Mm.
in your purpose, in your
Yeah,
goal, and
yeah.
everything
Good
else.
one. This is a
And
good one. Yeah.
it's really good. I mean, you're probably thinking, what's that got to do with confidence? Well, because if you have the self-love, if you have a great focus and people supporting you, because there will be times where you are not going to feel great, where you may not have had enough sleep, and then your mind will play tricks on you.
Mm.
And that's why when you have people around you to support you, you got this, you can carry on. That's what's going to fuel you occasionally when you do need, you know, many episodes ago we talked about what are your own needs before you can attend anybody else. Is one of those things was
Yes. Yeah.
having a good sleep and
Mm.
staying away from stress. And if you didn't have a good sleep, and a couple of weeks ago I didn't have a great sleep because my mind was going before I went to bed, and the next day I was a write-off, and I could observe my mind trying to play tricks on me. But luckily I'm aware enough to notice that. So then I allowed myself to just rest and be and whatever. But when we are running 100 miles an hour every week, we are not aware of this, and we are gonna fall
Mm.
into the trap of, oh my God, am I good enough, and all of this sort of stuff. So
Mm.
just make sure you fuel your body in the right way with your sleep and your rest and exercise, all the things that your body needs first. Then you can feed your mind with the great stuff as well. And
Mm.
that's when you're going to feel confident. When you're comparing yourself with the rest of the world, when you're comparing yourself with your colleagues and whatever, and when you're buying into the chaos of the world every single day, even though you may be a confident person, you're not going to continue to feel like that, because
Mm.
there's always something to put you down or make you feel like you're not enough.
Mm.
And to me, that's enough for
Mm.
you to buy into all of this now and just
Mm.
say, enough is enough. I'm confident and I
Yeah.
can do whatever I am here to do. You know, my coach said, you can be, do, and have anything that you like if you put your mind to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
One of the thoughts that I've got is I kind of wish I was aware of all this stuff a lot earlier in my career, really.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah, of course, and that's probably very common, but that's
Yeah,
no excuse. You're never too old, or it's never too late to start now with
exactly.
fixing stuff that that you don't feel is right. Really, it's
Absolutely. Yeah.
time. You're watching this video. I don't know why you're watching this video. I'm pleased that you are. Don't get me wrong, but what's ever brought you here, maybe today is just the day to start thinking about these things. We've got lots of episodes that we've already
Mm.
done. There's lots more coming, and I've got him first on this episode. I'm going to say subscribe to the channel and don't miss out on all the stuff that we're doing. You get alerts and things when we do new stuff and all that. So please, like the channel, subscribe, whatever. I'm not a big expert in these things, but do whatever you need to do to link yourself
Yeah.
to. And it's not too late. Just today is another day. Here's another one of my sayings. Today is not an extension of yesterday.
You know.
Today is a brand new day.
Yeah.
You can do it today.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, there's a reason why you're here right now listening and watching this episode. And the fact that you are doing that means that there's a part of you was called to listen to this and was really, there is a reason for that. And
I
honor
believe
that,
so.
honor that reason and make sure you take the necessary action to do whatever it takes to get you there. And it's never too late. There's no such thing as too late. You're exactly where you need to be. Perhaps a few years back, neither you nor me were able to receive any of this message. And
Mm-hmm.
now that you're listening, you're watching, you are ready to receive that message. Receive and do something with it, with our help right now. So, yes, do subscribe to the channel, do subscribe to our podcast so that you can listen and watch all these videos and all these audios every week. And there will be more coming. So, until next time, have a great day.